everybody, I'm Crystal Loader. I'm the Adult Program Coordinator. I will be doing today's Love You to Pieces wreath tutorial. We have this guy here that I've been hanging on the plant upstairs in the library. There's some instructions in the packet that you received. If you have not picked up your packet, please do so. We're going through this pretty slowly. If you need any help, feel free to call me at the library. If you are missing any pieces, please feel free to call me at the library and I will get another packet. Hello everybody. I have everything laid out here. Got a plate for my paint, water cup, some paper towels, my pencil, my scissors, black marker so that you guys can see what I'm doing with my pencil, and the pink marker that I'm going to use for later. I also have my glue. You should have all gotten this little white strip of paper, this piece of cardboard, this heart template, some type of foam brush, a handful of puzzle pieces, and some paint. Now, there should be directions in there. We're going to add some red to our plate, or newspaper, or cardboard, whatever you prefer. With the paint that is included, I highly suggest closing 3 of the containers and dumping out only what you need. For example, if you need the red, start with the first one, dump that out completely, then move on to the next one. All right, got my paint ready. I've got my template here. So the first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna take our heart template and we're just gonna go ahead and cut it out. Put aside your scraps, and then to get to the middle, we're just gonna lightly fold it in half, no creases. Just make a little slit there, just enough for your scissors to get in there. And go ahead and do the inside. We're gonna go ahead and cut around that inner heart. Until we have that ready to go. Take as much time as you need. Doesn't have to be perfect though, remember that. All right, so then we're going to take our heart shape here. I'm gonna go ahead and use my marker to trace. Make sure you hold your template on and don't move it, otherwise you'll have kind of a wonky looking heart. If you do need to move your hand out of the way, just make sure you're holding part of it down. All the way around. And then go ahead and do the inside also. Making sure to hold it down flat. All right, that's done. We're going to use our scissors and we're going to cut out the heart. Now, it will be a little harder, especially if you don't have adult scissors. If you have a box cutter or anything, you're welcome to use that. It can be a little hard on the hands though. If you need assistance, ask somebody at home to do it. Or you're even welcome to come into the library and ask me to help you. Okay, done with that part. Okay, now is the hard part. Now we can do it one of two ways. Okay, first way, you can fold it like we did with the other thing that could leave a little bit of a crease. Or you could take your scissors point or pencil, just kind of do a hole in the middle, and then turn it around like that. Okay, that gives you just enough space to get the bottom of your scissors through so that you can go ahead and start that. Sometimes I find with the thicker cardboard that going up in a couple different spots and even trimming off a little bit extra gives it a little bit of wiggle room so that you can turn around. Now, if you have a box cutter, this would probably be a lot easier. Those, unfortunately, can't hand out to the library. If you have any issues, you can just go ahead and pull it up, toss it to the side, and we can always clean it up a little bit later. Plus, we're gonna paint this, so it's okay if you mess it up a little. It's not a big deal. Okay, go around. That's there. I'm not too worried about some of the little pieces since I'm going to be painting. All right, so you have your red and white paint. You are welcome to paint the heart red, white, or pink. I did my example as a white one. I think I want to try pink this time. So I'm just going to add a little bit of red to my white over on the side here where they're not quite touching. Mix everything in so I don't have any streaks of weird colors. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and just paint a quick coat on my cardboard heart. If you need more paint, feel free to give us a call. I can make up a couple extra paint cups for you, and you can go ahead and pick those up whenever you need them. Sometimes the puzzle pieces take a little bit longer to dry, and sometimes, depending on the puzzle, because we use several different puzzles, it could soak up the paint really well. So you may need a couple different coats. All right, so I've got that going there. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. Okay, so we're gonna take our puzzle pieces from our little box bin bag here. We're gonna flip them over to the other side. We don't want the glossy side, otherwise the paint will have a hard time sticking to it and you'll have to do 50 million coats, which is what I kind of did here. I don't know if you can see it, but it looks pretty streaky. So I learned my lesson that way. Okay, I have my water. I'm going to clean off my foam brush. And I already have a couple of white pieces, so I'm not going to use any white. In the directions, I said to do a certain number of white. You can do, honestly, whatever you'd like to do. If you want it with all pink, go for it. If you want it with all red, go for it. Your choice. Mine was just a suggestion. So just watch your fingers on this. You will get dirty. I mean, if you want to go grab some gloves, go for it. I already had paint on my hands from earlier. So go ahead and grab some of your chosen color. Do a couple of little coats, then move them to the side. Okay. I'm gonna do a couple more in that red until I use up what's on my brush. And then I think I'm gonna move to making pinks. So every time you make a pink, it's going to be slightly different because of the different amount of hue, which is the red for this in this case, you add to the white. You are going to be tinting the color with white by adding to it. Okay, so we got those. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take some of my white here. I'm gonna move it over kind of near that pink, add just a tad of red. As you see, it's kind of looking a little on the dark side because we used a little bit more red. You know what? I wanted a little bit more, so I'm gonna add some more white and add a little bit more red. Okay, mix it around. There is a little color swatch on your directions that were included in the packet. Go ahead and use that if you'd like. You don't have to, but it's there if you need it. Okay, you can go ahead and grab some more puzzle pieces. Oops, I didn't mix mine correctly, so I have a little bit of red that didn't quite get mixed in all the way. Stuck in my brush. If you notice that you have a little bit less paint than you want, try squeezing out your brush. Sometimes it likes to soak it up a little. All right, so I've got more of these that I'm gonna paint. Some of the colors might need a second coat, so keep an eye on them. If you have some of the smaller pieces, you may need to do more. You can take a break at any time and see if you've got the smaller pieces. You can see how they fit on your frame. There we go. A little bit of red that got mixed in there. I'm going to use up all my pink before I move over to I clean off my brush and get nice white going because we haven't done any white on this one. Lots of pink in this one. Okay. I'm actually going to add a little bit more white to make it a nice light pink. So I'm tinting it further. Squeezing it out, making sure I get it all out there. Don't press too hard in case you do end up breaking the little plastic piece inside. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple more on this lighter pink just to give it a little pop. A little bit of contrast. You know what? I'm gonna grab some more white. Just kind of go in this little spot here. Maybe get a nice light look at that, I got a wonky piece. So different shades of pink for a nice color contrast. If you have extra paints at home, you're welcome to make a type of red violet or blue violet. Heck, you could use any colors that you'd like at home. If you also have glitter, feel free to add glitter while the paint is still wet. It can stick a little bit that way. Okay, I'm gonna clean off my brush and I'm gonna go ahead and do some straight white. Make sure you get that excess water out of your foam brush, either using the edge of the water cup, some paper towels that are nearby, or even use the newspaper that you're using. It tends to soak it up a little bit. So I ran out of some room on my paper plate. I used too small of a plate, so I'm just gonna pour a little bit of my white paint there so I could use it. And some more pieces. Feel free to do as many as you like. If you just like painting, go for it. All right, got a couple of those. All right, if you so choose, you are welcome to do a second coat on the heart. You can also paint on the other side if you prefer. You do not have to, but if you like it the way it is, or you want to add a little bit more just to cover that marker. Like I said, you guys are welcome to use the pencil. I just wanted to make markers so you guys can see it on the screen. So we can do this while we're waiting for our puzzle pieces to dry. You can paint the other side after it's dry, of course. All right, so we've got those going. Now, at this point, you are going to make a little bit of room, and we are going to make our little banners here. Okay, they're the ones that say "Love you to pieces." Okay, so we're going to take each side and we're going to cut just a little triangle at each side, going straight up from the corner. I'm gonna cut that triangle out, not too far, just enough to make a little nice edge there, kind of like a banner. Eyeball it. If you'd like to measure it, you can. I'm not a perfectionist, so I don't generally do that. Okay, so we're gonna end up folding this. So we've got each edge like this. We are going to fold 2 finger widths in. We're going to fold it towards the middle. You want a nice firm fold, you can use a pencil to make that nice and straight. So 2 fingers. You want to make sure it's a nice straight edge, so you'll have something like this. There you got something like this. Then what you're gonna do is just pinky way down. You're gonna fold that over. So you have kind of a zigzaggy shape there, kind of a leg, as I put it in the picture. So pinky, and you're gonna fold down this way. So right, you're kind of meeting that banner edge there. Okay, so we've got a nice little pop-up going on. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna write our Love You to Pieces. On the directions, I gave you several little fonts that you could choose from. You could handwrite it. If you know how to do calligraphy, go for it. I also found this super cute one that might be a good idea. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use our pencil pretty lightly because you never know how it's gonna turn out. So I've got a little heart inside my O here. Just a plain old V. Oh, see? It's a good thing that I didn't do this in marker first. Now you can also put text chat, love LUV, and a U, and pieces. You could write out pieces. You could do it different sizes if you prefer. Do numbers, so I can put love, then put U, and then maybe a 2. Let's see. 2. This is the challenge for me, is making spacing. If you have a better way that you'd like to do it, you could probably count the letters that you want to use and measure this and then divide it up. I just wing it, which is probably not the best for people. You can also make it smaller. You could write it out on a separate piece of paper in case you decide that you want to change it, it doesn't look right. Your choices, really. You could make it silly handwriting. You could print it out on paper, and you could do the same thing on here, or you could just glue it to the strip. Your choice. I find some of the fonts on dafont.com to be really cool. I found all of these. This one's called Jewel's Love, this one here. Then there's several here. Some of them are in Word and some of them are in DA font that I downloaded. You can just do it in your regular handwriting too. Okay, so I've got my Love You to Pieces. I'm just gonna go ahead and use my marker. And I am just going to use my marker to fill in where I like. Now this one I have a tapered edge. I can use it also as a calligraphy marker if I want. And then once you've done the marker, you can go ahead with an eraser and erase any of the pencil lines that you don't want to see. I have this little pencil eraser here. That'll work. Just make sure that your ink is dry. So you don't have to see any of the lines if you don't want to. Where you missed or it wasn't perfect. That's why I like to do pencil. Now you can always do something called a shadowing, which is using a darker marker, but you don't have to. I had a couple little cute little details in mind. In this O, for example, I had little lines here going around from the hearts. I've got some hearts coming out of here. And I believe there's one in the P. Just kind of going around here. Okay. You can also put some texture on these guys if you want, by adding some dots or some lines. You can make bubble letters, you can just write cursive, you can write print, whichever you prefer. Okay, let's go check on our puzzle pieces. They're pretty much done. The red may need an extra coat. You can see it's a little streaky. You're welcome to go ahead and do another coat if you like. I don't mind it. So I'm gonna leave it as is. Okay, my heart's not quite dry yet. All right. In your packet, you had this little cute little colored string, or you might have a plain red or pink string. I really like this one. So what we're gonna do now is we are going to take our heart, I'm gonna turn it around face down. You're gonna go ahead and tie a basic knot. Just so we have something to hang from. Now, this knot will not be visible. We will be covering it. Flip it over. You have a nice little place to hold it. Okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and arrange our puzzle pieces. Now, because I did pink, I like having the contrasting colors next to each other. So like the lighter colors, and sometimes I like doing a little pattern. This is all up to you and however you would like to do them. If you need more of a color, feel free to paint over another one. So creativity is all about. I think I want to do this one. This way, this way, this way. This way, so we're going to just do this pattern. I like this pattern. You can put them a little closer together. You can interlock them if you'd like. It does not matter. It's just kind of however you would like to do it. Use my light color here. You don't need to cover every inch. If you'd like them spaced out a little bit more, that's okay. I see I missed a couple spots. We'll just, on the next layer, we can just go ahead and cover that. So then, sometimes that happens too. If that happens, just peel it off. Okay, let's do another pink one, another white, another red hiding somewhere. Okay, so it looks like we're missing We could probably squish stuff together. That one's a little bit big. All right, so we've got our first layer here. Now you can go and you can take your glue. You can use Elmer's, you could use hot glue. It's all up to you, whichever you prefer to use, whatever you have around the house. I would not recommend a glue stick though. And then you can just get a nice clump on the back. Just go around and glue all those down. Okay. We've glued all the first layer down. You can leave it as is if you like it this way. You don't have to. I like it with the double layer, so I'm going to slightly offset mine. And make a couple layers. You don't have to. So I like having a nice little layering going on. All right, so you finished gluing all your pieces together. This is nice and dry. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your little banner piece, you're gonna put some glue on the bottoms of each of the feet, and then you're gonna go ahead and press it down lightly. You're not gonna put it so far that it's going to be straight across. You want it to pop up off of the wreath. I hope you enjoyed our craft.